everyone. Welcome back to the Power You and Your Life and Business Summit. I'm so excited to be with you here today with another amazing summit and most importantly, other amazing guests. We have a lineup of beautiful guests that have a lot of knowledge and expertise to share with you today. So you'll have a chance to hear from everyone very shortly. I'm your host, Helena Lapari. I'm a business marketing and sales strategist. And what I do is I help business CEOs really scale to 6 and 7 figures through proven marketing, sales, so team building strategies. Like I said, I'm very excited to dive right into our summit today. And I will start with my first speaker, Amy. Amy, how do I say your last name? Giancito?
Giacinto.
Giacinto. Oh my gosh, I was so far off. Thank you so much for coming on our summit today. I would love to hear more about what you do and the topic that you have prepared for us, and also where is it that our audience can connect with you.
Okay, so my name is Amy Giacinto. I am a visibility and mindset coach. A little bit of background on me. I started out as a mindset coach working with entrepreneurs. And I decided to do a 365 days of live. And in doing that, I had so many people reach out to me. How are you doing this? You're so inspiring. I wish I could go live like this. And I just from people reaching out to me and seeing what I was doing, I kind of morphed into more of a visibility coach, but I still work with mindset too. So that's where the visibility and mindset comes from. I help entrepreneurs get confident in talking about their business and showing up for themselves. A lot of times we as entrepreneurs, especially when you first start out, actually at any point in your journey, you come out and you put your business out there, but you don't talk about it very much. And I help, like I said, entrepreneurs get confident talking about their business, and that in turn grows their business. I have a membership. It's called Visibility 365. And in this membership program, we go through everything that comes up with being visible. A lot of the biggest things, maybe some of you guys can relate to this as well, is a lot of times things that come up about being visible is, what are people going to think of me? Or what if I don't look fine? I've had people tell me that their appearance, the way their hair looks, or the way that they do their makeup, they're worried that people are going to judge them for that. And that's a mindset issue, right? That holds us back from being our greatness. People don't really care what we look like. They want to hear our message, and who we are comes out when we talk. And this is why live video is so important, and being visible is so important, because people are not, there will be people that judge you along the way, because that's just what happens. However, there are people that are out there searching for you and what you do. And if you don't come out and you don't speak about it and show them who you are, you're never going to find those people. I love to use this example. I found this lady. She was a bookkeeper, and she was a big Harry Potter fan. And all of her social marketing was all about Harry Potter. Everything that she did, all her analogies, was everything Harry Potter. I don't know much about Harry Potter at all. However, there are a lot of people that are diehard Harry Potter fans. And she had a huge following work with her in her bookkeeping business because she was such a Harry Potter fan. I mean, like, she actually bought wands for her people when they started working with her. And it was like this big thing that they had these wands, right? So my point in saying this is that who you are as a person is going to attract the people that need you. You have something different that nobody else has. Your personality brings something different to the table. And there are people that are searching for what you have because they can relate to you. You know, if you like to be silly and you show up on video as yourself and being silly, people that like to be silly are going to gravitate to you because of that. And that's going to bring you business that you would have never had you only done post, or had you hid behind your business and not showed who you were as a person. Social media has gotten this thing where it's fake. People are like, ah, that's not real life. That's not real life. But when you come and you show people that you are real, it attracts them. And that's a lot of what I work with my clients on, is how to show up as your authentic self, how to get over that little scariness of going live the first time or doing a reel for the first time. I just started getting into reels, and I'm telling y'all what, they're so fun. I've been having a blast with them because you can showcase your personality. And I have all kinds of people that are reaching out to me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that last reel that you did was so funny." And they're going to remember that. And the reason why that is so important is because they are going to remember who you are and what you do, because you're standing out from everybody else. And they might not need your services. You might not ever appeal to them. However, they're going to remember you when their friends talk about it, or when they're in a networking group and somebody says, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for." I remember Amy, she was doing some crazy dances and it was so funny. You're going to love her energy. So putting yourself on display and showing who you are, and not caring what everybody else thinks about it. Another thing to think about is that you think that, oh, I have to be such this upbeat person and I have to be so happy all the time. But there are people that don't like people like that. There are some people that are gonna be like, Amy is too happy for me. I can't do that. But there might be somebody else that is more laid back and they can showcase themselves in a different way, that it's going to draw everybody to them. Maybe they're into video games and they talk about video games and how it relates to it. Or maybe they like to be outdoors, or whatever it is that makes you you and you like to do, showcase that so that it can draw your people into you. And yeah, that is me in a nutshell.
Awesome. That was amazing. And I definitely have something to add to that, because visibility is so, so important. And I want to ask you, Amy, before you send the audience to where they can connect with you, why do you think it's important? Not just for the clients that we can land, right? But why should we show up? Is there like a bigger buy-in to that, besides the all these great techniques that you actually shared, and all the information that you shared? I feel like it's always like, because there's something bigger behind that you're trying to make that impact. So why do you personally feel that visibility is important for entrepreneurs?
I think it adds another layer of confidence to you. A lot of people, I work with a lot of women. I work with men as well, but I work with a lot of women, and the confidence is not there to show up for yourself. We show up for everybody else, and everything else is so important, but for ourselves, it gets put on the back burner. So when you show up for yourself, you start to build a confidence in yourself, and that it radiates to other people, and they see that, and it draws them into you, right? And when you do that, it helps other people realize, hey, I can do this too. So I think that it's kind of like a domino effect. And not only are you building this confidence in yourself, and that's what I enjoy about this. I love to see somebody starting their business and they're like, oh, I'm kind of nervous about it. And then all of a sudden they're going live, or they're doing reels, or they're doing stories. And they're like, oh my gosh, people are commenting on my stuff because I did this. And it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, yes, it's not scary. Just do it. But when you show up like that, it gives other people permission to show up too. And I think that that's very important, because so many people hold themselves back and don't do what they want to do in life because they're scared, and because they've never seen anybody else do it. So,
yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Absolutely. And also, that something that you are sharing, I love what you said, with we connect with certain common points with one another, whether it's the story you're telling, or your other quirky type of your personality, or your personal story. You just never know what people can connect with. And the fact that you are showing up and you're sharing that knowledge and experience that you have might help someone else that might be going through something hard in their lives at that point in time. So, just doing it for the impact, I think, helps us come out of our insecurities, our noise and all of that, so that we're there, because whatever I have to say is important and is going to help someone else that needs to hear that. I think that's also something else to help with when you feel all the drama and everything that we go through, all of us. It's kind of very terrifying at the beginning, but I love that you said that just do it. Anything terrifying is worth exploring, because you have to grow through the other side of fear and really go through that process. Absolutely. Well, thank you so
and,
much.
and another, I want to add to that really quick, is because a lot of people think that they're the only one. Because people don't talk about the fears or their story or where they came from. So everybody thinks that they're the only one. So when you do tell your story and you do show who you are, it lets it humanizes you to people. Because we put certain people, business owners or celebrities or whatever, we put them on these pedestals like, oh, everything's great and their life has been perfect, so I can't do that because they've had an easier life or they have a better path than me. And it's not, 9 out of 10 times that's not the case at all. So it gives other people permission to, hey, they did that. Okay, I know that I can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very inspiring. Awesome. Amy, where's that our audience can connect with you?
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I play around in Facebook a whole lot more than Instagram, but at Amy Gia, and it's spelled AIMEYGIA.
Awesome. I wish the audience connects with you and sees how you put your content out there. And I'm sure, you are your authentic raw self. At the end of the day, that's what we need more of. And I love that you said that social media sometimes can be fake. And I love that we're going to all these natural, raw lives without filters, without a major production, none of that. It's just you, me sharing something, and people joining you. So it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for everything you shared with us today and your beautiful message.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now I will go to Sarah Dara. I hope that I spelled your last name correctly as well.
Yes, it is correct.
I did.
Yes,
Awesome.
it is.
Sarah, thank you so much for being here, and I would love to hear a little bit more about you as well and what you'd like to share with our audience today.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, so I will just do a quick introduction about myself. My name is Sarah Dara, and I'm based in Abu Dhabi, UAE. And I'm a software engineer by profession, and I run an IT company in Abu Dhabi, which is called Programmer Zone. So we do a wide range of coding courses for kids and adults, for professionals as well. And we also develop.
Oh, Sarah, I'm having some difficulty hearing you. Is it just me, or?
Not hearing her.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, I think something with the audio. Well, this happens when it's live, but that's the beauty, that
Yep.
show up no matter what, right, Amy? Things always happen. You just roll with it. So, Sarah, I'm not sure. I'll come back to you then, hon, and then I'll go to Noelle. I hope that Noelle, I can hear her
Yes.
as well. Noelle,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Well, thank
Noelle.
you. Thank you. My name is Noelle Powers, and I'm a business vision coach. I've been a vision coach and trainer for 20 years, and I've recently become an executive contributor at Brains Magazine. So I get to share my message with 1 million people a month based on some recent vision exercises that I did. So I'm really happy to be joining you as an expert in something, totally my own field of expertise, which is the flow of vision to profit. So I want to start out today saying that I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs today are overwhelmed by information. I think that most of us we have more information in our heads than we need for 5 lifetimes or 5 businesses. So today, I don't want us to think information. I want you to close your eyes and just forget everything you know about business. Just forget about it. Clear your mind. Give yourself a clean slate. Then I want you to imagine a big green button in front of you that says reset. And I want you to press it. Now, I want you to open your eyes and come back into the room with me. sometimes what you need the most is not more
You need the most is not more information.
It's to change the paradigm that you're approaching your business with. So I'm going to do an exercise from Seth Godin from the Marketing Hall of Fame. It's about, don't give them a logo, give them a brand. So we're going to go into this exercise today. People don't care about your company. 99% of people own companies, but not brands. A brand is your personal message to people that create engagement and profitability. There's a reason why Apple sold 5% of the computers and made 90% of the profit. Why? Apple has a brand. This brand has a identity and a community that people get to be a part of, and no other computer company does. So today I want to walk you through just some exercises about creating your personal brand as your most powerful tool in business. So to start, like I said, I've been a business coach for 20 years, and I've tried to create a program that really fit in all of that beneficial stuff I'd used before, but in a more powerful way of you creating the vision that will form a brand that people will love to buy from. And to cover more area than I could in any coaching program, I wrote a book, and it's called Vision Driven Profit. It will be available next month on Amazon, but it's lessons from the founders of the visionary brands of America. These are America's best loved and most profitable brands. So I want to share 4 steps, and the exact same steps that Apple and Amazon and Sarah Blakely of Spanx use to get you to the point where people are only choosing you as their option. The first one is you need to choose the impact you're going to make. Profit follows human impact. If you could only do one thing in your business, if it was just describing the impact you wanted to make on people and that you were going to stick to it, you would have a very large emotional draw. Sometimes we get lost, and this is what I do for a living. I'm a coach. It's 12 steps, and I'm so awesome. And, sometimes we get a little lost in telling people all about something, but not telling them the ultimate takeaway that they're going to get. So we have to remember that a brand is built on trust. You have to tell people, here's a promise I'm going to make to you, and over deliver. And so I say a brand always starts with 12 people. Just like Steve Jobs and Apple, he didn't sell computers to consumers the first year. He looked at the people he knew the most. A brand is always built small. So this prejudice you have against yourself for being small and not having a market department works against you. You want to find 12 people or 20, even if they already exist in your customer base, and tell them the real impact you want to make on them and really deliver. Because that tells people that you're trustworthy. We're in a decade of low trust. Most people trust individuals over companies. And if you have a brand, it means that people trust you, and you can take a core of 12 or 20 people and really create the change that you want to make as an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur, it's not something you do for a living. It's who you are as a human being. You're telling people you're going to make a meaningful change for them in their lives. The second is you want to create a clear vision of what it is you do. A vision tells people, okay, what does life look like for you in 5 years? What are the ideals behind this? What are ideals that you and I share as real human beings? So one of the reasons why a brand attracts lifelong customers and companies do not is because they share their ideals. I share my ideals that you can instantly lead and grow your company as a visionary leader better than with any other technique, because that's where engagement and profitability come from. I have ideals that I share. Other companies have ideals that they share. Harley Davidson shares this ideal that this is the style of freedom, that this is a machine that can take you on any adventure you want to go on. And then they challenge you. What are you going to do on a Harley Davidson? So it's really important to pinpoint what is that one group of people who you're going to serve and what are the ideals, because people make their buying decisions based on their emotional construct of who you are. It's not your rational mind. The third step is to communicate daily. I don't know if anyone remembers, but I was a teenager in the 90s. Marketing didn't used to be free. You need to think about, how do I communicate my ideals behind my vision for free every day with people you already have? You might have 100 people in your email list. Have you converted them over to your ideals? This is about penetration. And I believe in today, with social media, people are looking for 1,000 likes for 1 million people who don't care. Have you really converted even a group of 10 or 12 people to your real ideal version of their life in 5 or 20 years? The last thing that you need to do to build a powerful brand is to decide what areas of excellence your company needs to have. Now, Steve Jobs did this with Apple, right? Everyone who works at Apple understands think different. He shares this message with everyone. If you ever notice, he doesn't sell computers. He says we sell a message, because companies sell stuff, brands sell a message. And he says our company is excellent because everyone here knows how to combine technology with art. So I'm going to ask you, as an entrepreneur and a leader of your company, have you defined the excellence that your company needs to have? Or have you become a Me Too company, trying to compete with everything everyone else does? Because if so, you're going to lose. You can only compete in one or two things. You got to choose it. So just to recap really quick, trust is what builds your brand. A brand is the engagement and profitability generator. And to do this, you need to share what's most important to you as a human being to create a sense of identity and community among the smallest group of people who will support your business at first. And then you can grow out that vision of serving other people. And I want to leave you with just a quick mindset thought. Your logo may help customers remember who you are, but the impact of your brand and what it does on people's lives will make you impossible for them to forget.
Well, I had goosebumps. That's such a powerful message. Thank you so much, Noelle. And I can relate to so much of that. It's really quality over quantity. And just because nowadays we have all these different ways to reach people, we need to really focus. A solid business is really built out of 100 loyal fans that keep, talking about your brand and referring you and spreading that. It's all about that impact. So your message, I'm sure, resonated with our audience as well. As we have lots of entrepreneurs in this audience trying to scale to 6 and 7 and even beyond.
Yes.
So it definitely.
And what I love about the whole idea of creating a real brand is it doesn't matter whether you opened your business yesterday or if you're a corporation who's been in business 100 years. Forming a real brand where there's identity and community. Again, it's the same process for everyone. And what I find is it's actually liberating to think about 12 people, because a lot of entrepreneurs, including leaders of large organizations, I don't care who you are anxious about a lack of engagement with customers and with your employees. Because I really, you know what I mean? I believe it is universal. And it's only those people who can really communicate and have a vision and really know how to share their message. I believe that that's the biggest way to just to crumple down that anxiety, right? And say, I know what I need to do. Here's 4 steps. It's the same for everyone.
Absolutely. Start with you. It all starts with you, and speak about your values. I love that. The values is what attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and that's how you're going to build
That's
everything.
right. It's not a marketing department. I always say that people define themselves by what they can't do today, what they don't have. I don't have a marketing department. I don't have this. I don't have that. You don't need that, because if you master the human elements, you share your vision and you communicate and you're constant and consistent about who you are. Like she was saying, you show up as the same person every day. People are more hungry for that today than they've ever been. It's your asset. Small is good.
All right, Noelle, where is it that people can connect with you further?
Yes, well, you can find me on my website. It's empoweredlife.com. It's spelled N as in Nancy, POWERED life.com. And I can put another handle in there on this, and LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for everything you shared with us. Powerful, beautiful message. And most important, a lot of takeaways, which can be applied right away, not just from you, but Amy. And I'm looking forward to everyone else that's going to be sharing today. Thank you so much, Noelle. And we're going to try again with Sarah. Sarah Dara, are we back? Oh no, I cannot hear you still. Mm. Yeah, no audio still. All right, Sarah. So maybe log out and log back in again. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And meanwhile, I'll go to my amazing entrepreneurial couple. I love a good entrepreneurial couple. I'm also a partner in my business with my husband, and it's always fun to be both into the impact and the thing that you are doing. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Simon and Helene. Raid? Is that? Did I get
It's close enough. The Danish
I am
sauce, no one
butchering
can
these
do.
things today. I'm so sorry. Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to be here. We're really pleased to be here. I'm Simon, as you probably guessed, and
Helena.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and we're
Helena.
married,
Okay.
and we are. I'm a trained teacher by profession. That's 20 years here. Helena has been a trained coach for almost 20 years as well. And really our background was not to end up here, to be honest. We kind of did a detour, but then we realized a couple of years back that this was actually where everything was going for us, and then the path kind of got together. So that's kind of just a little bit of a background of how we ended up here. So it looks fun, but we want to start completely different. We actually want to just lean in and just talk to you a little bit about what we do, because our program and our business is called Authentic Friendships, and that's where we want to start. So we want to just ask you right now, how many of you would want to be in an authentic friendship where you're actually loved for who you are?
That's me. Raise your hands.
And if you're in the
Sure.
chat right now, just put a yes in
Give
the
a yes.
chat, right?
Or even raise your hand if you're alone.
Exactly. That's all right. No one's watching, so you just raise that hand.
Yeah.
If you want to be in that kind of relationship where you're loved for who you are, and also when you have a hard time looking yourself in the mirror, you're still loved. That kind of relationship, does that still ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah. The kind of relationship where you can bring the good stuff and celebrate that, and you can bring the hard stuff and be met in that and not be judged and point fingers at, that kind of a relationship.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, and that's what we want to share.
And those are the kind of friendships that we help you create. So in our company, we teach you the skills you need to create amazing friendships. We help you apply these skills in your everyday life, because we know that knowledge in itself doesn't transform our lives. We need to actually put action behind our words.
Right.
And we help you to transform your mindset to a growth mindset where you dare to lean and go for the friendships you long for, and not settle for mediocre gray friendships where you kind of half-ass love for who you are.
That's so true. And the thing is, even more than all of this, we actually believe that we as human beings, we are created for this.
Science shows it.
Yeah, exactly. It actually shows that we find the most depth of satisfaction when we belong in a relationship, when we belong in a friendship. This is actually where we find the most pleasure. It's where we find the most life purpose and life fulfillment. And that's not just the human factor. It's not just hanging out. It's deeply embedded into our DNA, and that is completely fascinating.
And it's scientifically proven that when we have great friendships, we don't only live longer, we also live happier.
That's right.
So there's every reason to dig into these friendships. The problem with friendships are that we don't talk about them.
Right.
Friendships for me growing up was not easy. I was a very shy person. I got bullied all through school. And later on, I learned to put on the mask that everybody saw me, thought I was doing good. No one knew. Do you know that feeling when you honestly, you walk around and know that people think you're good? People think you're happy. But inside you're lonely? Like, just touch your heart if you know that. Yeah. Inside you know that there are just things you are hiding. You are not sharing because it's too vulnerable.
Right. Because
it's too shameful. And I know that with friendships, we are taught that friendships are just supposed to happen when we're around people. Right. It is just some kind of magic. And this myth in our culture makes us think that creating friendships should be like breathing. Yeah. It's just something we learn when we grow up, right? When the matter of the fact is, it is hard work. But because of this myth, it's so shameful for us to realize. And I know it was shameful for me to admit. I don't know how. Right. But because I have this story, I know that it is a skill set. And it's not something that happens by magic, no matter what our culture says. It is a skill set that you can learn and you can master. Right. And if you have this feeling, oh, I don't know how to build friendship, just want to say there's nothing wrong with you.
And you are definitely not alone. You're so not the only one. And that actually leads us straight to the next part, because we're talking to entrepreneurs right here. Yeah. And the funny thing about us as entrepreneurs, we're almost always the odd ones out. Everyone
Do you know that feeling of being the odd one out in every company you surround yourself with?
Everyone
Family
knows
dinners.
what an entrepreneur is. But most people are like, well, it's a little bit weird. Why would you take that kind of risk? I mean, where does the money come from? How do you actually do it? And people, they know it and they might admire it, but they don't really get it. It's like we're a special kind of people. And it just makes it even more important as an entrepreneur to have those kind of people. There's this old saying that show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you who you are. And that is just as important when we're talking about entrepreneurs. What room are you stepping into to become the entrepreneur you want to be? And what kind of friends are you surrounding yourself with that will support you and will be there with you in the hard times and the good times and love you exactly the way you are? And that takes some skills. It is not personality. It is not what you were brought up with. It is simple skills. And that's why we always say it's nothing to do with personalities. Introverts don't get less friends than extroverts. It is about learning how you do it. And we've actually seen this time and again that people get this aha moment when they realize, I can do this. I'm not just the introvert who has to wait for some kind of extrovert to start to love me like if I was a pet. But it's crazy how you see people actually have that idea. We are here to say that it's skill-based and it's something that everyone can learn. And as an entrepreneur, I will even put my money on the line and say it's even more important that you have someone who knows you and loves you for who you are, so that when it's hard, they will be there with you. And when it's good, they will celebrate with you as well.
I would say as entrepreneurs, we always live outside of our comfort zone. And outside of the comfort zone, that's uncomfortable. Right. And I know that sounds crazy, but we deal with fear of rejection. We deal with imposter syndrome. We deal with self-esteem. We deal with having to constantly learn new things, right? Which is always awkward and weird, and dealing with that. And we're not surrounded by people. I heard someone say that about 70% of all male entrepreneurs are lonely. Right. Because as an entrepreneur, it requires a lot more effort because we're not surrounded by colleagues. We're not surrounded by people in our everyday life. So we need it even more because we're stretching, we're out in the front line. But we also need to put in a larger effort and not let our company suck us up.
And I would say even for this as well. I mean, right now I'm talking to an amazing group of women here, but I would imagine that you have husbands or friends or brothers at home, and a lot of these guys are notoriously bad at getting any deeper than the buddy level, where you have someone you can go to the bar with or someone you can go and play football with. But if it's actually someone who you'll call when you have a day where you can't even look yourself in the eyes, that kind of friendships are hard to find. And it actually means that a lot of guys are lonely. And to be honest, it's even worse because so many guys don't realize that there is a different way. It just kind of seems like we have to be. And I think this phrase that no man is an island, I think most men don't know how not to be an island. And that's really the case, that we keep people at a distance because it feels unmasculine to be vulnerable enough to have friends. It feels like it's not the manly way. And it is so exciting when you stand with a man who realizes, this is the man I can be. This is masculinity in the right kind of way. And I can actually have a brotherhood. I can have someone to do life with. And it's not that she is my best friend, but she cannot be my only friend.
Nope.
And I need
can't
someone.
do that.
I need someone with just as pretty a haircut as me,
Yeah.
who can understand what that
Maybe
is
hairy
like.
chest like you as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just need more than just a spouse, and that's the kind of thing that we're working with as well, helping people get through.
So we are deeply passionate about putting friendships on the agenda to start talking a lot more about this part of our lives that is under talked about and undervalued, but essential to where we want to go and how we thrive and succeed in life.
Right.
We want to give you 3 specific advice. First off, if you want to build friendships, learn to listen. You can get more friends in 2 months by being interested in others than you can in 2 years by trying to become interesting.
So true.
And I know we're entrepreneurs. We love talking about our own stuff. I totally get it. But learn to listen, really listen. The other one is look for friends the right places.
Right.
You need someone who's not just fellow hobbies, but you need someone with your core values.
Right.
Someone who resonates with you on a deeper level, because that's when you can go really deep. It's not enough to be an entrepreneur. I love that we are badass, mission-driven entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because if we are on a mission, we want to make this world a better place, right? And that is a much better place to find friends. And the third one, this is our master tool.
Here comes.
And we love it.
Drum
And
roll.
it sounds so simple and it's so hard. Talk about your friendships with your friends. Dare to say, okay, I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
How does trust look for you? How does commitment look for you? How does support look for you? Have the conversations, even like, okay, I think we're friend dating. I would like to get to know you more. Dare to say those things, because that is going to elevate the way you build your friendships, but it's also going to help you to nurture your friendships with less effort, because it takes the mind reading out of the friendship part.
Yeah. And take yourself serious enough that you actually speak up when something goes wrong.
Yeah.
We
Through the conflicts.
sometimes don't talk deeply enough, and we often say to people, actually, if you haven't been in a conflict in your relationship, in your friendship, it's probably not that close, because there's just something about, you can stay at the buddy level, but until you actually take that level deeper, you're probably not friends. And it means that taking the friendship serious enough that you actually say, if they make you mad, if they make you sad, if something goes wrong, that you actually open up your mouth like you would with your spouse or your family members, because you're kind of stuck with them, right?
Yeah.
So
what we provide is our 15 years of experience in gathering all these skills, gathering all these different topics that we need to talk about in friendships. And we know that with this, we will help you elevate your friendships. We will help you either find new friends or go deeper with the ones you have. So that is our message.
Well, that is there's so many things that I could highlight in your message there. And first of all, I love how much in alignment both of you are. And it's so important in entrepreneurship, for sure, to have a spouse that is in this journey, because it is such a lonely journey so many times. And the fact that you have one another to really showcase this also for the audience of the topic that you're teaching, I think it's a big blessing as well. But I think this is so important nowadays that we are moving away from, with virtual world and communication. I feel like, we lose track of how to actually have meaningful conversations, how to surround ourselves with the right people. And I so agree that, Simon, you said such a beautiful thing that, just because men are maybe, culturally conditioned to just kind of speak about surface level stuff does not mean that, there's not something else that they can go into deeper to kind of uncover all those emotions. Because most of the times, I know, us, we talk more about that as women, but men, I think, kind of just keep a lot of that down underneath, and that could lead into so many other things. So I love that you brought that awareness and rose that awareness regarding that. But I so enjoyed your message. Thank you so much for everything that you have shared. And I think for entrepreneurship, because what we do is about people and the impact and the brand that we want to build, it is so important to really tune in and emotionally connect with our audience as well, not just with our friends and our family and the people that surround us, so that we can really penetrate and emotionally connect, so that our message lands. And of course, we can serve our clients at those higher levels with the offers that we have created. So beautiful, beautiful message. Where is it that our audience can actually connect with you further?
Yeah.
We have actually created an amazing Facebook group where we do weekly free live trainings, and we are there present for support. It's called the Authentic Friendship Network.
So
All
the
right.
easiest way, so Facebook /groups / the Authentic Friendship Network.
Yeah.
We can write it in the chat as well.
Yeah. So we definitely hope to see a lot of you there participating in the discussions and just leaning into all that we're sharing. It's absolutely free. We do a training every week.
Awesome. So I hope that our audience joins you there to get to know more about you, and also, resonate with the thing that you have going on together. I think that's beautiful as well. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you will have an opportunity
Thank you for having us.
with the link for anyone that wants to just take the link and go from there. All right. Awesome. And then we are on to our last speaker, Sarah. Sarah, can you hear us now? I hope you really can. Okay.
Let's say, okay, perfect. That's great. So it's last but not the least.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Sarah Dara, and I'm a software engineer by profession. And I'm an entrepreneur, and I run a company where we teach students and professionals about coding languages. So we have, and we develop websites and apps for the businesses. So how does it started? I was graduating, and the kids find it really, really difficult these days to read books, right? And to do something activity in terms of writing and stuff. So what I did is we have a huge family. We're a joint family. We live together. So I started with my nephews, and I made some augmented reality phonetics book. So when they used to scan the paper, they used to have that, a cat popping out and saying the word cat with the phonetics. So it started, and then my nephews, they started to learn it really quickly because they find it really interesting. So I made some cards for them, and when they were able to scan it, they could see the things popping out, talking. So they were find it really interesting to learn about it. So this is how I started my journey. I started writing augmented reality books and designing apps where you can learn the phonetics and scan the books and learn the words, how to pronounce them. And I find that it is really, really important because when you're learning any other language, where individually and even at an adult age, it's really, really difficult. So these days, when the kids start learning French, they start learning German at an early age, it's good for them. But when you want to learn a new language, it's really difficult. And as an adult, you find it really challenging to find new words and follow the phonetics and everything, right? So with these kind of books, you can really learn it easily because you just scan it, you can repeat it, and you can repeat after them whatever you are learning. So this is one thing, and then I published them, and then I started teaching my nephews again. I started teaching them coding languages when I was graduating, and they were able to learn the coding, and they were able to make some web pages. And then I thought that when these little kids of age 7 and 8 they can do it, then every other child can do it. Then I started doing the market research, and I find out that these kind of programs are much more in Dubai side, but not in Abu Dhabi area. So I started, designing and making the lesson plans for different age groups, and this is how my journey started. So once I graduated, this was the first thing I did. So I opened up a small company, and I started teaching students and professionals. So for my institute, we teach the languages which are taught nowhere currently in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai. So we teach Swift language, C Sharp, Java, and I have students from age 7, and I have people from who are taking their exams professionally, students from universities. So this is how my journey started, and it's growing and building up. We recently got certified from STEM.org, which is an institute in USA, to get certified from. They have a proper lesson plans and everything, and they certify you that you are an eligible institute to teach training courses for coding. So this is how my journey started, and it's going good so far.
I love that, Sarah. I was going to say that this is so important what you do, because with today, the way that the world is so global, when you learn a new language, you open up the door to a whole new world, an opportunity of
Exactly.
a different
And I
audience.
think, with the pandemic, we learned that it's the technology that kept us connected with our loved ones, professionally, businessly, everything. Our education system was based on online. So, for example, if there was no technology, it wasn't being possible, right? So it was everything would have stopped. But it was the technology that that kept us going and moving. And whatever the businesses were, they were slightly up and down, but they were going around, right? So I think this is one of the most important things. And I think the coding language is something it should be learned as an English language. So everybody learns English from a very early age, because it's a language everybody should learn, right? So I think coding is a language that you can start learning from a very early age. So by the age you're graduating from high school, you already have an experience, and you can decide whether you want to be a professional, or you want to take it as a side hustle. The beauty of this coding language is that it's not your mainstream. You can be a doctor, but you can be a coder, right? This is the beauty of coding. So it doesn't affect your mainstream, but it can be a side hustle. So I think it's a very, very beautiful thing to learn, and it's especially for the women. If you can, you're not allowed to go out with the babies and you want to work from home, this is something you can design websites at home, you can design apps at home, you can be social media managers. So there are lots of graphic designers, animators. So there are a lot of things that opens up with coding and designing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're saying that it should be another, because to me, like right now, that seems like so foreign. But you're saying that with the right support, it's definitely something we can learn. And I do agree with that. Just like Simon and Helene said, everything is teachable and learnable. It's all a skill. If you dedicate your time to anything, you really
Yeah.
will improve in it over time. I love what you're doing. I love this. Keep this up. This is amazing, a brilliant idea. And especially, like I said, with the way that we are going moving forward, I think it just opens up the world to everyone even more. So thank you so much for everything that you've had to share with us as well. And I'm so glad the audio fixed so that we can hear your beautiful message. Where is it that people can find out more about you and connect with you further?
So you can visit my website, which is www.programmerzone.ae. And I'm also on Instagram, programmerzone_AD.
All right, awesome. And all our amazing speakers are able to share their links inside our Facebook community, Badass Mission Driven Entrepreneurs. And this summit is also going to be available on our YouTube channel, Elona Lopari Life School, which is our platform where you are able to share it with everyone that you feel needs to hear this message. I want to thank all my beautiful guests for being here, and all my speakers for everything that they have shared with us so far and made this summit even more valuable and information loaded, and most important, actionable steps and things that we could take and apply right away, so that we can really make that impact with whatever our choosing is as entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in another summit. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for organizing it. Thank you. And
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.